Hi, everyone. So, what an exciting adventure I've had in the last week. I flew to the East Coast. I almost froze to death, had some wonderful discussions, and then I come home to, I don't want to say infighting because it's not really infighting. Our team is all about freedom, and we're not going to force you to vote for anybody. We're going to provide information, and we're going to let you make that decision for yourself. We've got a group of people who are kind of, I would say, fractured. They're divided over who to vote for when it comes to our state assembly. Our state assemblyman, Scott Wilk, has decided not to run for office. And so we have two people who are also Republicans looking for that nomination. And we have been kind of going back and forth whether we want to choose the person who held office once before or choose the new guy who has zero experience. And of course, the mudslinging is heavy. It's underway. There's only a few days left of voting. And if you haven't voted in California, I encourage you to early vote. I know it's so weird. We all want to go out there and vote on the day of and be like, God, look at me. It's voting day. I got my thing. But here's the problem. My leader of my team has had this experience before personally. So I can't just say, oh, this is something that happens. This has actually happened to someone who is 1 degree of separation from me. They went to vote. They said, hi, my name is Bob Vila. I live at this address. And they went, oh, yes, Bob, not a problem. Oh, Bob, it looks like you've already voted. And Bob went, I haven't voted. This is my first time coming here. In California, since you don't need an ID or a license or any sort of verification to vote, anybody who decides they want to be you can walk into any precinct, any polling box, and say, I'm Bob Vila. My date of birth is this, my address is this, I'd like to vote. And they will take your vote. So by the time you decide you want to walk in there on voting day to get your little sticker, well, I'm sorry, sir, you've already voted. You're going to have to fill out a provisional ballot. And when we finally figure out whether the provisional ballot or the earlier ballot was submitted, whichever one is real, by then your vote will be counted. But by then the election's over. So this is why I am encouraging people to get out and vote early. Take a friend with you. On election day, everybody's going to be talking about it. And you're going to say, hey, did you vote? And they're going to say, no, not yet. Well, come on, let's go. I already voted. Let's go. I'll take you. I know exactly where to go. It won't take but 5 minutes. We need to be doing that at every level in the state of California. But I digress. I want to talk about these candidates who are back and forth. We've got the new guy, we've got the girl, and I finally had it. I said, you know what? The person who is running for office, who has a record, a voting record, a policy record, let's pull this up. So I started pulling up the information that I thought was important, and I compiled it into, I guess the gays would call it, a burn book. Not really a burn book, but it's the voting record of that specific candidate. And of course, being who I am, love you, Kaylee, I had to go all Kaylee McEnany style and make sure that I was highlighting and noting that each one of these things, so every single one of these tabs talks about their voting record. For instance, on AB 2626, it prohibits suspension of medical licenses for performing illegal abortions. This particular candidate voted yes, and we have that. So when you're looking at it, you know what's going on. So on that particular topic, so if you vote yes to prohibit the suspension of an illegal abortion doctor, should someone like Kermit Gosnell be in California terrorizing women, ripping babies from their uterus and causing actual damage, they're not going to prohibit their license. And she voted in favor of that. She said, yeah, no, not a problem. We are not going to prosecute those doctors. So tonight, she's going to be speaking to my group. So I'm going to walk in armed with this information along with candidates' contributions. Remember, contributions are publicly available documents, and you as an individual are free to go find out exactly who's donating to these people. And when I looked at this person, I said, I find it very interesting that pharmaceutical companies are donating to you. I find it interesting that big corporations like Anheuser-Busch are donating to you. And when they donate $152,000 to the California Democrat Party and they kick you a $5,000 donation, it makes me wonder, okay, are they doing it just because they feel bad for you because they gave $152,000 to the other side? Or is it because they think that they can get something from you? Hey, you know what? This person has the best shot. I'll give you some money. And that happens over and over and over again. And when I started looking at the pharmaceutical donations didn't come directly from Gilead or Pfizer or Bayer or Merck. No. They came through a proxy PAC, a political action committee that those companies donate to, that then donated to this particular candidate. And of course, you can see the results of that, where we have, let's see here, AB 1184, that trans children in California. What this one is, it was labeled under privacy. So if a child decides to get gender affirming care or an abortion, they call this sensitive care, on their parents' insurance, their parents are not allowed to get that information. They're not allowed to request it. They're not allowed to subpoena it. It is private medical information. And even though the parents are paying for these services, they are not entitled to know what is going on. That is extremely dangerous. She voted yes on the initial draft and then failed to vote on the final draft. These questions are the questions we want to be bringing our elected officials when they come and speak to our groups, because we need to be able to hold our elected officials accountable and say, hey, you know, you took a lot of money from this pharmacy lobby and then you lobbied in favor of doctors and pharmacies. So where is really your allegiance? Is it to the patients who are suffering and being injured? Because as it stands, you voted not to penalize those doctors. So if you can at all come up with your very own book with all the necessary data, when these candidates come to your town, you can walk into either a central committee, you can walk into a city council, you can walk into a school board meeting, and you have this information at your fingertips. And of course, reminder, do like Haley McEnany and make sure you put important notes, color coordinated, so that you know exactly what topics you're going to be talking about, and you know you can turn to the right page. I love you guys all, and I will talk to you guys soon. Mwah! Happy election season, guys.